While the age of dinosaurs may be long gone, these terrifying and majestic creatures continue on today as various bird species. And while the typical bluebird or cardinal doesn't pose the slightest threat to anyone, well, many other birds are still living up to the legacy of their ancestors. So, let's start the list with the 10 most dangerous and deadliest birds in the world. Number 10. Red-tailed hawk. This guy is the most familiar and widespread large hawk in North America, broad-winged and bulky, designed for effortless soaring. It is commonly seen sailing over fields and woods or perched on roadside poles. Red-tailed hawk is an inhabitant of open country. But you'll ask, why is this bird on the list? Well, they have extremely powerful talons, and this is their main weapon. And this is exactly what you should be afraid of. They defend their territory fiercely, no doubt about that. And if you cross their boundary, their attack could result in severe injuries. On their table, they usually have small mammals, birds, or reptiles for lunch. From voles and rats to rabbits and ground squirrels, their diet varies with location and season. Number 9. Snowy owl. Historically, the birds travel southward, and that cycle is usually every 4 years. This process is called an eruption. But these birds have been erupting more often for many reasons, and some predict another banner year for southern sightings. Snowy owls are powerful and large owls of the high Arctic tundra, and they are colored for camouflage during northern winters. They are considered the most beautiful species in the world, but don't mistake beauty with danger. They have a wingspan up to 60 inches and typically weigh between 3.5 to 6.5 pounds. There's no doubt that humans are their biggest threat, as for everything else, but they have some other natural predators like Arctic foxes, jaegers, and wolves. Anyway, they are known to protect their territory aggressively, so don't you dare try to touch them. The snowy owls could drive their predators away with the attack of razor-sharp talons. And if a human is a threat, then the eyes are the main target. Number 8. LAMMERGEIER, delivering death from above. This bad guy is also known as the lamb vulture, a reference to the fact that this huge vulture was accused of flying off with both children and livestock in the sharp grip of their talons. We do know that the LAMMERGEIER is a scavenger, even though their gruesome credentials may be hard to verify. Having said that, we can conclude that their prey is already dead, and they don't have an interest in typical flesh. They usually hit that like button. No, really, they swallow the whole bones, and larger bones will be carried far into the air before dropping them and taking their nutritional content. We have one piece of advice when it comes to the LAMMERGEIERs. Don't stand beneath the rain of bones they make. While there have been stories in history about these birds hurting people in the past, there has not been a verified instance of death caused by these guys. Number 7. The heavyweight champ of the bird world, ostrich. You've probably been amazed by the gigantic size of these birds if you ever had the chance to see a fully grown adult ostrich in your local zoo. I know, I keep getting stunned every time. They are wearing the crown for the heaviest and largest birds in the world, and they have a strong data point to support their argument as the deadliest birds on the planet. Since they're on this list, you are probably wondering, are ostriches dangerous? Do they attack humans? You are right, they are quite dangerous, especially when you make them feel threatened or startle them. During the breeding season, male ostriches are particularly dangerous and mean, and they are prone to attack people. They grow up to 9 feet tall and weigh as much as 2 adult humans. So, if lions are afraid of them, then you can imagine what they could do to a human. Number 6. Harpy eagle, or also known as the flying killing machine. This eagle is potentially the most dangerous eagle to human beings, and taking in mind their size and strength, well, better go hide if you see one. Unlike most of the other birds and eagles that will try to avoid humans, the harpy eagle won't think twice about attacking you. They can gain weight up to 20 pounds and can grow to over 41 inches in height. But don't overlook them because of these dimensions, because their wingspan is 7.4 feet, which is much longer than an average person. Reaching lengths of 5 inches, these birds have smashed that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. No, really, in all seriousness, these birds have talons that are so incredibly long, almost as long as a grizzly bear's. Are you afraid of a grizzly bear? Well, then now you know what you could expect from these magnificent creatures. Number 5. Australian magpie. Does it look small? Okay, now listen to this. In August last year, a bird-like creature took a child's life in Brisbane, Australia. They are small, but they are extremely dangerous. This is a common occurrence throughout this and many other urban areas in Australia. It's crazy how many have just come to accept it as part of their daily lives. Thousands of injuries every year, and roughly 1 in 5 people who live in their territory experience magpies' aggressive behavior. The erratic flight patterns of these birds target people, pets, and even predators. Their swooping season is the period between July and November, and they are the most aggressive during this time of the year. Australia is trying to find a way to protect these birds while also reducing the danger they pose to humans. Number 4. The world's only toxic bird, Pitohui. They are the most toxic birds in the world, and considering the fact of how dangerous they are, we should probably all be grateful for that. Gram for gram, these birds take with them one of the most toxic natural substances known to science. The scientists discovered that batrachotoxins come from the small mellirid beetles they feed on. Mystery solved. But then again, why would they pick the highly toxic millerids as their primary food source? The toxin they have on them can be delivered by a simple touch. The only other animal that does that is South America's deadly poison dart frog. Number 3. The avian maneater, the crowned eagle. Unless they're first provoked, birds won't attack, at least in most situations. But the crowned eagle could be the exception to that rule. Their victim list includes animals as large as monkeys, and sometimes even potentially children. Their claws are viciously designed to sink into prey like meat hooks, and their strength, oh man, they are much stronger than some huge mammals. Back in 1924, there was a documented case of crowned eagle remains accompanied by the skull of a primitive human child, and the markings on the skull clearly show the feeding patterns of the bird. These stories persist even today, especially now when these hawks become a normal presence throughout South African cities. Number 2. Emu. It's easy to pronounce, it's hard to run away from it. Emu is an Australian version of an ostrich, and most people would say more dangerous and more powerful than ostriches. We all have heard stories of emus attacking humans, so if you're asking yourself if there's a reason to be scared of these birds, yes, there is. They are about 6.2 feet tall, which makes them almost as tall as ostriches. They can travel long distances tirelessly, they can go weeks without food, and drink infrequently. But this is not it. Emus occupy our minds because of their behavior towards humans as well. They have been known for chasing and observing humans. This aggressive behavior tricks us into thinking that emus are dangerous birds. Number 1. Southern cassowary, the most dangerous bird in the world. Native to the forests of New Guinea and northern Australia, the southern cassowary is known as the world's most dangerous bird. There are quite a few birds worth being a little afraid of, but this is something else. This bird has made hundreds of attacks on humans, and many of them ended up in the worst way possible. Most of the time, these attacks were a result of people trying to interact with them or feeding them. Weighing in at 200 pounds and being 6 feet tall, trust me, you don't want to get close to this bird. Now you know that you need to hide if you see any of these birds in the wild. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.